with Let's Talk Sports fans. Thanks for tuning in.
Wake up, everybody. Wake up, fight fans. It is UFC 298 today. That's right. We are about 12 hours away from the kickoff of UFC 298. This is another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers with your boy Bodkins. Folks, we solo podcast tonight. That's right. Or this morning, should I say. Our guy Whit texted me yesterday at let's see. I don't know, sometime yesterday afternoon. Let me look at the text message here. Timestamp says 2:20 yesterday. Our guy Whit became another father. His wife gave baby birth yesterday to one Gabriel Westcott, 9 pounds, 7 ounces. Baby boy is doing great. Mom is doing great. So obviously, with that being said, Whit is handling his business. So you got your boy by yourself tonight, this morning. I about said tonight. Used to doing those night shows. So we came a little earlier to this morning. We were going to go at noon today, but I figured why not wake up, kick off the morning with a little coffee, a little punch, UFC style. I'm excited for this card. Folks, Dana said he's about to give us the 3 best UFC cards back to back to back. And if you look at the cards, we don't have a main event for 300, but he ain't lying. These next 3 UFC pay-per-view cards are going to be absolutely, what's up, Mock? Incredible. I'm excited to watch them. Before we preview last week's card, or this week's card, tonight's card, should I say, we got to look back. Jack Hermansson beat my guy Joe Pyfer. Pretty much it was 2-2 going into the 5th round. Hermansson takes him down. Hermansson wins. A lot of people are saying, you read the internet, fraud check, Joe Pyfer's a fraud. I don't really think he's a fraud. Jack Hermansson's always game, hasn't fought in a year, and is pretty tough out for anybody. And it was a lot for Joe. This is his first 5-rounder. I think he'll learn from this and get better, and he'll come back with a vengeance. Maybe somebody at the bottom of the middle weights. You're looking at, let me pull up the rankings here. Hold on one second. We got, let's see, the middleweight. I wanted to look at there it is. Well, that's welterweight. Here we go. Oh, so Jack was 10. So this guy, you're asking Joe to go from unranked guy to number 10 in the middleweight division. That's pretty tough. I'd like to see him fight, maybe Chris Curtis, Paul Craig, somebody like that. I guess Paul Craig. What's Paul Craig doing in the middleweight? He's a lightweight. Or no, he's a middleweight now. Yeah, I forgot he dropped down. So let him fight Paul Craig or somebody like that. I think that would be a better fit. Or maybe he gets the winner of this fight, of the opening card of UFC 298. And we'll talk about that in a minute. For Jack Hermansson, he called out Nasruddin Imanov. I would like to see that. Or Roman Dolidze. I can't remember which one. He called out one of them. So he wants to find up in the rankings. Why not? Or why not do Brandon Allen, who's number 7, and Jack Hermansson? Did they already fight? I don't think so. Oh, Brandon Allen's about to fight Vittori. So never mind. Hey, good for Brandon Allen. So Yeah, Jack's. I'd like to see Jack Hermanson more active. And how about the fighters talking about how they don't want to fight in the Apex? Jack said he doesn't like it. There's another fighter come out and said he didn't want to fight in the Apex. So, nonetheless, so we'll see what happens there. And we'll go from there. Let's open up UFC 298 card here. I'm confused on who's starting this card because everything online says one thing, and then Dana was on his Now You Know thing, and he said Mackenzie Dern and Amanda Lemos is starting this card. But then everything online says that Anthony Hernandez, Roman Kopylov is starting this card. So we're going to go there because we're going to go with everything online as far as like what everybody reads. Now, I could be wrong here, and I'll look at the prelims here because I do – we'll just start with the prelims. There's some good fights on the prelims, folks. Look out for my guy. First of all, my girl Miranda Maverick, Missouri's own Miranda Maverick's fighting. She is fighting Andrea Lee. Miranda is the favorite here at 14-5. So, she's 14-5. She's the favorite at -180. Andrea Lee is 13-8. So I hope, I'm hoping Miranda can get here. She's trying to break into these rankings here in the women's flyweight division. She's, it just seems like she's lose one, win one, lose one, win one. Last time out, she won. So, it'll be interesting. That opens up the card tonight. And then this is on the prelims. Watch out for this guy right here, folks, though. Oban Elliott. Remember the name Oban Elliott in the welterweight division. He is taking on Val Woodburn. If you remember, Val Woodburn made his UFC debut. He took on Bo Nickel on a very short notice. Oban is the Welsh gangster. I watched the interview with him on Ariel. Very touching story about his dad. He grew up just wanting to be a fighter. He is making his UFC debut. He's the pretty heavy favorite at -340. Is the Welsh gangster. Made his way through the Contender Series. So, there's that. This guy's got an incredible story. Chael Sonnen was his hero growing up, and everything else. So that's where he, Chael Sonnen is the American gangster. So he is the Welsh gangster. Incredible story about his dad who passed. He grew up wanting to be a UFC fighter, grew up wanting to be, he's got that mixed blend. You guys know how I love those guys who love the WWE, love, and WWE and UFC. So that's kind of me. So the new guy, I'm going to be back in Oban in his UFC debut. And then we got the prelim main event, and that's none other than Amanda Lemos and Mackenzie Dern. Lemos is 13-3. Mackenzie Dern 13-4. Both these women's right there at the top of the bill. Lemos Dern, is taking this on short notice, about 2 weeks, fight notice. Lemos is the favorite at -130. You remember last time we saw Lemos, she was fighting for the title against Wei Lee. So Mackenzie Dern's thinking, hey, if I can beat the person who lost the title, I can maybe get right in there. Last time we saw Mackenzie Dern, it did not look good against Jessica Andrade. So and she also lost to Yaonan Xiaonan, who's going to be fighting for the title at UFC 300. So she's fought the who's who, Mackenzie Dern has. But I'm leaning towards Lemos here. All right, let's get into the main card here. We got the middleweight bouts starting it off. We have Anthony, number 15th ranked middleweight, Anthony Hernandez. He's 11-2. He's on a 4-fight winning streak. He is the favorite here at minus 245, and he is taking on Kopylov, who is the dog at plus 250. I'll take that back. Roman Kopylov is 2 plus 200. I can't even read my own damn handwriting sometimes. He's 12-2. He's also on a 4-fight winning streak. Kids, boys, and girls, we're starting the card a little early here. We are going with our dog of the card already. That's right. We're going with Kopylov as my dog on the card, baby. Kopylov is my dog on this card at plus 200. I feel like I might be giving away my rest of my picks here, but I just feel more comfortable with picking him. It's not that I don't like some of these other dogs, and we'll talk about it, but as far as just like, hey, that's the dog I think that's got the best chance to win tonight. It's Kopylov. So that's who I got winning tonight on the first card, and my dog on the card is Kopylov. Kopylov gets in the rankings, baby, at number 15, takes the ranking spot. Maybe his next fight will be against my guy, Joe Pyfer. These next 4 cards, the top 4, I mean, you could have built the card just off these 4 names. These next 4 fights. This is the 4 fights that you're going to tune into, that you're going to want to tune into. You got the top bantamweights in the world, folks, in this next one. I think this could be, man, I don't know which is going to be fight of the night, and it'll be interesting. But you got Merab, number 2, Merab Dvalishvili versus Merab is 16-4. He has won 9 fights in a row, folks. 9 fights. That's right. Most people are already fighting for the title. Now, Merab was in a predicament because his best friend, Aljo, was the champ for a long time, and now obviously Sean O'Malley is the bantamweight champ, and he refused to fight Aljo because that was his best friend. And as somebody who I probably would never want to fight my best friend either, that's tough. I mean, we're in the fight business. You're in the fight business. You're going to fight some, but just never wanted to do it. Didn't want to tear the gym apart. I respect that. I respect it. It's respect. Dana's wasn't a fan of it, but your boy Bodkins was okay with it. As long as Merab was okay with it. If you're okay not fighting for the title, then that's on you, Merab. You know what I mean? That's on you. But now he is 1 win away from fighting for the title. So Merab, 16-4, 9 fights. His last loss, August of 2018. 2018. Long time ago. He is taking on the former bantamweight champion of the world, a guy who his last fight was against Merab's teammate, the previous aforementioned Aljamain Sterling. Triple C Henry Cejudo. Henry 16-0. His last loss, obviously, to Aljo. Prior to that, he had won 6 in a row. Was the double champ. Triple C Henry Cejudo. This fight's got everything. I mean, I love if you want to follow a good Twitter on MMA. We got a couple guys on this card, a couple characters on this card. Merab kills it in social media games. A great follow on Twitter. But then you got the king of cringe, Henry Cejudo. This fight, to me, is going to be so interesting. Both these guys love to wrestle. Merab's just got so much relentless pressure. He comes at you just nonstop. And Henry's obviously, he's a gold Olympic wrestler. So this will be, it's not even a clash. They got the same styles. I think it's going to, will they stand and bang? That'll be interesting. It's going to be a 3-round fight, which means Merab could put that pressure on early and see what happens. Like that's what's great. All these fights outside of the main event are going to be 3-rounders. So it could make for, I do think a lot of them could go decision. I think this fight's going to go decision. If you look, just Henry and Merab really don't put guys out. They just outwork you. And so I think it's going to be close. Henry said if he loses, he's probably done. Like he wants to win the title. get back to the title. I think the winner of this fight gets the title shot next. I mean, Merab definitely should. 10 in a row. Who's won 10 in a row in the UFC hasn't got a title shot? I'll wait. Leon Edwards was close. Outside of that, there probably hasn't been a single soul ever in the UFC that's been 10-0, on a 10-fight winning streak in the UFC. Nonetheless, like all these 9 fights, they're not outside the UFC; they're inside the UFC, and he hasn't got a title shot. He wins tonight. Merab's getting the title shot next. It doesn't matter if it's who wins next month in Miami, whether it's O'Malley or Cheeto. Merab's getting the title next. And I like O'Malley and I like Cheeto. But I mean, Merab's style, man, that this guy, just the endless, the pressure that he puts on. And how about Merab at the press conference? Merab is known Georgian, busting out the Mexican flag. He's Mexico's favorite fighter. He's taking on Mexico. Henry, I guess, I don't know if he's denounced his, he's just not representing them or what he's doing, but I like in this fight, I like Merab by decision, folks. Give me a Merab at minus 275. I like Merab to win this one over Henry. I think I like a decision. I think it goes the distance here. We got on the next one, the fight that was supposed to happen in August, and then Jeff Neal had to pull out. In steps Neil Magny. And then we got Jeff Neal. So now they're redoing it. It is Jeff Neal, number 8 in welterweight. Jeff Neal, who is 14-5. His last loss was almost a year ago against Shavkat. Before that, he had two wins in a row versus number 10 Ian Machado Gary minus, and he is 13-0. They were supposed to fight in August. Last time we saw Ian was he beat up Neil Magny. Remember, he was supposed to fight, was it like 2 months ago or it's the December card. And it was hot in the kitchen for Ian Gary for sure, especially with the, his wife's likes to date other dudes and he watches. And that's just, I don't want to get into any of that weird stuff. But nonetheless, it was hot in the kitchen for old Ian. In December, it seemed like then he pulls out because he's sick. He was supposed to fight Vincent Luque. Instead of redoing that fight, they rebook him with Jeff Neal. This fight here, this is about the only, I think the main will get it a finish, and I think we'll get a finish here as well. Man, both these guys, Neal can bang, steals of hand. He can punch your lights out, and it seems like the internet is rooting against Ian Gary. I like Ian. In the cage, I like Ian. I think he's an incredible fighter. He's an exciting fighter. But can the guy just shut up? He just digs himself an own grave. He wants to be Conor McGregor, but he's not. You're not going to be Conor. You're never. I know you're Irish. And then he's talking about, I'm getting too big. I can't even do a fucking Irish accent. But he said he's getting too big for to host a show. No, you're not, Ian. No, you're not. You've done yourself. We all liked you when he first busted into the scene, and he said, the Takeover 2 is about to happen. Madison Square Garden, when he first busted out, I liked him. I liked his fighting style, liked what he was doing. But this last year for Ian, it has been just awful. Awful. From the Neil Magny saying Neil Magny's a child abuser to, he took his wife's last name, which is whatever. But then his wife writes a book on how to be pretty much, how to, get a celebrity. And that didn't do him any favors. Doesn't do any favors that his ex-wife or his wife's ex-husband is his nutritionist. That seems a little. He says he did it so his kids could grow up together, or he could be around his dad or something like that. It's all red. A lot of red flags, if you ask me, like personal reasons. You know what I mean? But that's his bravado, man. That's his, whatever. And then he just says other dumb things. the drunk driving where he wore Neil Magny's shirt when Neil got a DUI, those types of things. You look, man, you're just not that. I don't know. I just want to see the kid fight. Like I said, I like Ian. I think he's an incredible fighter. And with that being said, I think Ian gets it done. I think he can. I think he finishes Neil Magny. I'm going to say in the second round here, give me Ian Machado Gary. If anyone would just shut up. Just shut up, Ian. We just want you to shut up and fight. Can you just shut up and fight? That's all we want from you. Just be quiet and fight. We get into the co-main event. You got, man, this fight. I love both these guys. I have become a fan, and maybe just more of Twitter fan of Paulo Costa, interview fan. And Robert Whittaker is one of the best guys in the sport, like as far as just like human beings in this sport. In a sport where there's a lot of dudes who say a lot of shit, and I love shit talking too, so I'm not going to say like I don't like it, but that's, and some of it's not even shit talking, Sean Strickland. Some of it's just, political views, this and that, and whatever. A guy who just goes about his business is none other than, Bobby Knuckles, the Reaper. So you have number 3 middleweight, the Reaper, Bobby Whittaker, Bobby Knuckles, 27-7. Bobby's the favorite here at minus 240, and he's taking on number 3, Paulo Costa, the Eraser, Bohoshinya. 14-2 is Paulo. The last time we saw Paulo, though, folks, August of 22. That's the last time we saw Paulo Costa. A long time ago, too. And that's when he beat Luke Rockhold. Pablo Costa has not beat a current ranked middleweight in the UFC. That's how long it's been for Pablo Costa. I mean, Luke Rockhold, he lost to Izzy, and before that, he beat Yoel Romero. Luke Rockhold, Yoel Romero are no longer in the UFC. Before that, he had a win over Uriah Hall as well. He's no longer in the UFC. In fact, 2 of those guys, I'm pretty sure Uriah Hall and Luke Rockhold, I don't know if they're retired or what. They're not doing any MMA. That's for sure. So it's been a long time. And this matchup I think this has been the third time's the charm for this matchup, because I feel like it's been scheduled twice and Costa pulled out both times due to injury or something. I'll tell you what, though. Both of these guys look in great shape. Last time we saw Whit, he was Robert Whittaker. He was knocked out by DDP, and then now the current middleweight champion. Whittaker's only really lost to 2 guys in the UFC at middleweight, and that's Izzy twice, and the current champion DDP. Izzy obviously twice in title fights. And DDP last summer, he said he kind of maybe took him lightly. Also said that, he's kind of banged up, but they both look incredible shape. Remember, Paulo Costa was supposed to fight back in like October against Hamzat. That didn't happen. He got hurt. His elbow was all messed up. I wish they would have rebooked that fight. I'd like to see that. But nonetheless, we get Whittaker here versus Costa. In a fight that's supposed to have been happening like 3 times already. I'm torn. I like both these guys. I really do. And if Whit loses, what's next for him? You lost 2 in a row. Is it now the downfall of Bobby Knuckles? I don't know how old he is. Let's look. He's 33, so he's kind of, entering that right at your end of the prime age as far as fighting's concerned. Pablo Costa's right there at 32, so it just seems like there's not a lot of miles on Costa, maybe because he hasn't been as active, and he just seems younger. I am torn, folks. I really am, but This is going to go decision. I think it goes the full 15 minutes here. And I'm going to go Bobby Knuckles. Robert Whittaker wins. And we'll talk about next week. Hopefully, Whit will be able to join us. Or we can get a nice little co-host join us here on the next on our post UFC 298 preview, our post show. But I'm looking at Robert Whittaker here to win via decision. Neither one of these guys are great, both great fighters, but it seems like neither one of them get a whole lot of finishes. I mean, you're looking at last time Bobby Knuckles had a finish. Jacare Souza back in 2017. You look at everything else. Decision. I mean, yeah. And then Jacare Souza, TKO back in April 15th, 2017. So, I mean, Bobby Whittaker is one of the best in the business, but just not a whole lot of finishes. You look at Paulo Costa. I mean, I guess his last was 2018 too, July 17th against Uriah Hall. So, I mean, he does have some, before that, he knocked out Johnny Hendricks, Uriah Hall. We're naming guys who aren't in the rankings when you look at Paulo Costa. Had a decision win over Yoel Romero. And then his last win was unanimous decision over Luke Rockhold in Utah. Remember, that was the night that Leon Edwards knocked out Usman. And Leon's fought now twice before that. You know what I mean? So, nonetheless, I like Bobby Knuckles to win this fight. Plus minus 240. Can he get it done? And then maybe he's next in line. Do they run that back with I think DDP's next too. It's Izzy probably for DDP and maybe at UFC 300. And then we'll talk about it. Maybe Witt gets the title shot with this fight. I don't know. There's not very many guys ahead of him. Oh, I did want to back up and mention though. So Merab is number 2 in the bantamweight. And Triple C, Henry Cejudo's 3. Really, Merab's going to be number 1 because in 2 months' time at UFC 300, Aljo's number 1 ranked bantamweight. But once Aljo fights at featherweight next in like 2 months at UFC 300, he'll be pulled out of the rankings. So pretty much should be pulled out of the rankings already. UFC, I mean, he's already got a featherweight title booked. Like, what the fuck is he doing in the rankings? So, yeah. And then we got the main event. Man, Alexander Volkanovski. This is his 6th title defense, folks. He's one of the most active UFC fighters, one of the most active champions in recent memory, one of the most active fighters. I'd say him and Izzy, and now he's probably past Izzy as far as just activeness has gone. The last time we saw him, he took the short notice lightweight title against Islam on pretty much like a week's notice. That didn't go his way. But now he returns. I don't know if we've ever gone into a title fight where the champ has been knocked out his last fight, right? Like that can't have ever happened. Remember, Volk was knocked out by Islam in the first round, and it was quick. And now he goes back down to featherweight where he's ran roughshod against everybody. This is his 6th title defense. This is a guy who's seen things, been there, done that against the best of the best, the Max Holloways, 3 times, right? They fought 3 times. Against the Brian Ortegas, against the Zombies, against Yair Rodriguez. Volk has never looked in danger in any of those fights. Now, the Max Holloway fight was close. The second one. The third one wasn't even close. The Ortega fight really wasn't close. The Zombie fight definitely wasn't close. And now I think this is just outside of Max. Who knows? Because now he's taking on number 3, Ilya Tapora. Ilya's 14-0, folks. Coming off a win over Josh Emmett and Bryce Mitchell. I mean, this guy, and the way there's Connor parallels to this guy. As far as, I don't think the hype is like the hype train. He definitely can't talk on the microphone like Connor, but there's probably myself and Connor that can talk on a microphone like Connor, baby. But there's just not very many people out there like Connor on a microphone. Now, in the cage, this dude's got it all. He has got it all. And we got to ask ourselves, was it just the short notice fight against Islam, or are we starting to enter the downfall? I mean, the only people he's lost to in the UFC, Volkanovski, is to Islam. The first fight real close. Second fight, obviously not close. The last, and then here we are. Seems like John Anik was kind of saying like he thinks Volk is going to be done here at featherweight, win or lose. So, we didn't say that about. I don't know if I said that about Henry. I'm kind of all over the place now. Henry is done. I think he's going to retire after he loses to Merab. So, bye Henry. But back to the main event here. The featherweight title, man. Ilya is so good. I mean, but Volk, I've never seen Volk in any short of, like, even the first Islam fight. Like, he was never in any real danger. Never once, really. Never once where you're like, oh, he's in trouble. He just took a short notice. I think he just took a short notice fight. I'm going to throw that fight out the window. A lot of people are picking Ilya, and rightfully so, because he looks dangerous. But I'm going to ride with the old dog one more time. I just think that I love, if you catch it, just Google old man Volk commercial. Hilarious. Yeah, I got, and still UFC featherweight champion of the world, Alexander the Great Volkanovski. That's who I got winning. I got Alexander the Great. And still. I just think he's going to get it done. Well, that's it, folks. We'll be back Wednesday, hopefully. I will be, and at least have one guest. If Wick can join us, hopefully. Just hard to have when you're having a baby the day, to do a show. So we all out here at LTS Network, LTS Show, LTS everything. For myself, everybody, we all hope Whit and the family's doing great. So, yeah, other than that, we'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow with the lovely on the new episode of the Body Show with the lovely Nikki Gist joining me. I can't wait. 7 o'clock Central, 8 Eastern with the lovely Nikki Gist. We'll talk all her Giants and her podcast and great stuff. With the lovely Nikki Gist will be joining me tomorrow night, so please tune in for that. The rest of the boys on the LTS show will be back Monday night. Be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. This has been another great Head Kicks and Haymakers. I'm going to hit that outro. Hopefully, we get to watch some great fights tonight. Like I said, I do think we're probably going to – I think Volk can finish Ilya. I'm going to say – 4th round. I think that we'll see a couple. Luckily, they're all 5-minute, 3-round fights here. As far as everybody else, I think Witt and Costa goes to decision. Recap here. Oh, I need a lock. I didn't give you my lock on the card. Ian Gary Ian Gary is my lock at minus 245. Is my lock over Jeff Neal. I just think he gets it done there. That's my lock on the card. So yeah, to recap, we got Kroploff, bottom to top here, is my dog on the card at plus 200. He wins. Marab, I think Kroploff can get the finish here. I got Marab by decision at minus 275. I got Ian Gary as my lock on the card at minus 245. I think he gets the finish. I got Robert Whitaker at minus 240. I believe that goes the distance. I got Whitaker by decision, and I got Volk finishing Ilya Tapora in the. I'm gonna say the fourth round. The fourth round. Volk wins 20 and still. So hopefully a great night of fights. Remember, folks, tune into the prelims. Missouri's own Miranda Mavericks fighting, and the Welsh gangster Oban Elliott is a name and story to watch going forward. That's it. We'll see you guys next time. We'll be back Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern, for a head kick post show, UFC 298 post show. We'll break it down and talk everything that happened, all the action, and we'll look at the very next card as well. So be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. I'm going to hit that outro. See y'all. Y'all have a good Saturday, and great day, great night, great fights. Oh, here's the outro.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.